Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is October 4th. Lisa, Lydia, Scott here with you. Before we jump into the weather details, lots to talk about today with cooler temperatures and rain. I want to remind you, we're live here every weekday morning on Facebook. It stays on your feed so you can watch it anytime, whatever works for you. On Facebook, we make it into a podcast. You can find it at inform.com/podcast. Look for the Inform Minute. We're also on our Inform YouTube channel and, of course, live every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on WDAY. All right, weather-wise, there was lots of puddles in the parking lot when I got to work today, and that's not the end of the rain.
No, so we've got this big low-pressure system kind of moving through, and I like to explain that as like a pinwheel. You know the pinwheels you used to blow on?
Yeah.
I always, every time I got my flu shot, the nurse is like, blew on the pinwheel so that it distracts you. Anyways, picture one of those just kind of flat on top of the map. Every time one of the arms or the wings moves through, we're getting a band of moisture. And so we're getting hit with these different waves of rain, just as the system is slowly moseying its way to the east. So we have some showers this morning. We get another arm later this evening, another one into tomorrow morning, another batch Thursday night into Friday morning. And then by Friday night football, the whole system, the whole pinwheel should be gone and will be dry, just kind of cold at that point. So it is dragging in colder air with it. It's spinning air down out of Canada. So today will feel a whole heck of a lot different.
It felt like fall this morning.
Yeah.
Like outside,
Yep.
kind of wet and cold and
windy.
Yeah, windy too.
Not really a nice day at all.
No, it's not so nice actually. Well, we will see some sunshine in the middle of the day. In between some of those arms of moisture, there will be a little bit of sun with temps in the 60s.
Okay.
Okay, where was I going with my train of thought? Okay, we were in 90s. 96 on Sunday, 90 on Monday, 81 yesterday. Today, 64.
Wow.
So that's a sharp,
big drop.
Sharp cutoff. Wind will make it feel even colder. We'll fall down into the 50s for highs tomorrow, 52 for our high on Friday, which means we'll spend most of the day in the 40s.
Okay.
Probably the coldest football game of the season so far for Friday Night Lights. You're going to need all those warm goodies because it'll be in the 40s.
Yeah.
And sunset, of course, is only getting earlier. So, whew, that's going to be chilly. It's a little too soon to talk about wind for Friday. We'll watch that closely because, of course, that plays a big factor into how it feels outside. Clouds stick around Friday night into Saturday, so I'm not too concerned about widespread frost on Saturday morning. I think that blanket of clouds will kind of stop it.
Okay.
Could be some patchy. More of a widespread frost, though, as the clouds clear out Saturday night into Sunday. Temps will be in the 30s on Sunday morning. Sunshine, 60s and 70s return next week. Drier weather, good harvest weather. We're going to have some soggy fields, some soggy soils here the next couple of days, making it a little bit harder to get some of that work done in the field. So some drier harvest weather next week and warm too.
All right.
I think a lot of folks are scared that this cool down today, the rest of this week is like the downhill slide into winter.
She said 40s, so soon it'll be 30s.
Right, yeah. That's not happening. We'll warm up nicely next week. Still some really nice weather to come.
Right.
There is a little blue popping up on my Futurecast model for Friday morning. That would indicate snow. You're probably hearing about that. Social media, of course, loves to run with that. Here's the thing, though. That model is picking up on air temperatures way up above our heads, where it is below freezing. And so, yes, that snow is possible thousands of feet up. By the time it gets down to the ground or temps are in the 40s, it'll melt. It'll be rain. You might see a sloshy, nasty little snowflake up near the international border on Friday morning, but it would not accumulate. There will be no accumulation. The ground is way too warm for that. So if you're hearing hype about snow in the forecast on Friday morning, disregard.
Calm down. Not yet.
You need to calm down.
Thank goodness.
Quote unquote Taylor Swift. Yep. So not worried about snow.
Okay.
Even though you might see a little blue pop up on the Futurecast model, it would certainly melt on its way down and nothing would accumulate. Pavement temperatures, grass temperatures, your roof is all way too warm still.
All right.
So
sounds good.
And then sun in 60s and 70s next week.
Looking forward
Thanks.
to that. Thank you, Lydia. All right, we talked a lot about this morning. You're still going to get questions. People are still going to say, what the heck is going on? But today, you're going to hear a loud test notification on your cell phone and other electronic devices. Don't worry, it's just a test, but it is a fairly rare one. This is only the second time the government has ever tested this system. It's part of a nationwide wireless emergency test, and it's going to happen at 1:20 this afternoon. There's also going to be the national emergency test on all of your TVs and radios. If you're watching something at that time, you'll hear it. And a reminder, people living in Minnesota today, also, you're going to have an extra emergency system test because the monthly outdoor warning siren is going to be happening at 1. So a whole lot that's going to happen really right before you get the cell phone notification, but just be aware that's happening today.
All right, right now, a state fact-finding commission is recommending the Fargo Education Association adopt the school board's final salary offer. That recommendation comes just a week before contract negotiations are set to resume. The two sides have been in an impasse since August. The main issues, pay and non-teaching time during the elementary workday. The board's final salary offer includes a 3.5% increase over 2 years for the most experienced and qualified teachers. In addition, it would continue giving teachers some prep time, but also expands the ways some high school teachers' lesson planning time can actually be taken away. It also recommends increasing the elementary school workday by a half hour per week, and they're going to restart those talks on October 11th.
This is an interesting story. 2 Minnesota men are now facing drug charges accused of sending cocaine through the mail to a business in Brainerd. So we kind of dug into the court papers, and it's interesting how police say they caught these guys. The Drug Task Force and U.S. Postal Inspector started investigating this case back in June. They say they noticed suspicious packages going from Laredo, Texas to a business in Brainerd. In September, they got a warrant, and they were able to open one of those packages, and inside they found cocaine. They say they then repackaged it and sent it back in the mail, and it was delivered. They were tracking that delivery. It ended up in the hands of Ian Ulrich, who signed for it and then put it in his car and drove away. That's when officers made that arrest. They also arrested Patrick Severson, they say, because he was tracking that delivery online using an IP address at his home and also his business. So then they were able to do a search of the business or a search of the home. They found more cocaine, similar packaging. So both are now charged with first-degree felonies.
Yeah, and they're due back in court in just a few weeks. So we'll give you any update to that story when that happens. New this morning, the North Dakota Highway Patrol says a man who hit a semi-truck causing a crash on the interstate was driving under the influence. That crash happened on I-94 in Fargo near Sanford Hospital around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Troopers say 36-year-old Aaron Hallstad of Moorhead sideswiped that semi while making a sudden lane change. Luckily, no injuries from the crash, but Hallstad was arrested for DUI and DUI refusal.
Big story today. Congress is in session, but there isn't a way for the bills to get passed. That's because there's no Speaker of the House. Yesterday, for the first time in U.S. history, a sitting Speaker was removed by a vote of no confidence. The move to remove Kevin McCarthy troubled some, including some of our local congressmen. We heard from North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong this morning.
Yeah, also from Minnesota Congressman Michelle Fischbach. She voted against removing McCarthy. She sent out a statement on her disappointment. She said McCarthy stood up to Democrats, forced President Biden to agree to the largest federal spending cuts in a decade, and that she is truly disappointed that all of that work is going to be halted until another speaker is elected.
Okay, so here's what we know about what will happen next. The House of Representatives will be in recess until next week. When they return on Tuesday, they'll have a conference meeting before a potential vote on finding McCarthy's replacement. And one of the names being floated around right now is actually a congressman from Minnesota, Tom Emmer. He represents the 6th district in Minnesota. That includes the city of St. Cloud and a portion of the outer Twin Cities metro. He's currently the majority whip of the House GOP. Emmer did not say he would not run. Follow that. He did not say he would not run, but he did throw his support out for another candidate. That's the current House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise.
A lot going on there. Of course, we'll continue to follow that as it unfolds. Today on Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, the Twins got their first playoff win in 19 years yesterday. I watched the game. It was an exciting moment when that Twins got the final out. It was like a big sigh of relief for all Twins fans. So hopefully they can do it again today. Dick Bramer joins Hot Mic to preview Game 2 as they look to eliminate the Blue Jays. Plus, it was history in the making for the Mandan girls golf team. We'll meet one of the best players in the state who's going to be playing for NDSU next fall. Check out all that action. It's from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra and Inforum.com.
And now is a great time to get that Inforum.com subscription. 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. Just go to Inforum.com/subscribe to check it out.
And then join us on air for the rest of the day. Our next newscast is at 11 o'clock this morning, then 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10. And we'll be back with First News tomorrow morning from 5 to 7.
Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.